Breaking news for all SSI, SSDI, and VA seniors. This is the update you've been waiting for: a massive $2,600 increase in your benefits. That's right, a game-changing boost is coming your way, and it could change everything about your financial future. But how can you make sure you're eligible? When is it happening? And what exactly does this increase mean for you? Stick with us, because in the next few minutes we'll break down every detail. This update is too big to miss. We're talking about an additional $2,600 in benefits. And this is something that could make a massive difference in the lives of millions of Americans who rely on these programs to make ends meet. The key question on everyone's mind right now is, what does this mean for me? How can you be sure that you're eligible for this increase? And when can you expect to see this money? The truth is, the last few years have been tough for so many of you. Prices are up across the board, from groceries to rent and everything in between. The pandemic caused a ripple effect that's still impacting the economy, and for those of you on fixed incomes, it's been an even harder struggle. And while there have been adjustments in the past to help with the cost of living, none have been quite as significant as this one. A $2,600 increase is coming. And today, we're going to dive deep into how this will work, when you can expect to see this extra money, and what it means for your day-to-day life. First, let's talk about eligibility. If you're currently receiving Social Security benefits, Supplemental Security Income (SSI), Social Security Disability Insurance (SSDI), or Veterans Benefits, you're in luck. This increase is targeted at you. Many seniors and disabled Americans have been facing real hardships, and this update is designed to offer substantial relief. That's why it's so important to pay close attention. This is not something you want to miss. A $2,600 boost can mean the difference between just getting by and actually having a little extra to cover unexpected expenses, or to finally take care of those bills that have been piling up. Now, you might be asking yourself, why now? Why is the government making this big move, and what led to this decision? Well, the reality is that inflation has hit everyone hard, but it's been particularly challenging for those on fixed incomes. While the government has made incremental adjustments in the past, such as cost of living increases, these have often fallen short of keeping up with the actual rise in living costs. Seniors and disabled individuals have been facing rising medical costs, housing expenses, and everyday essentials that have outpaced any of the small increases that have been made to benefits over the years. That's where this $2,600 comes in. It's part of a broader effort to finally provide meaningful relief to those who need it most. Advocates for seniors and disabled Americans have been pushing hard for something more substantial, and it seems like their efforts are finally paying off. This increase is a direct response to the mounting pressure to help those on Social Security and disability programs keep up with the ever-increasing cost of living. So, when can you expect to see this money? The good news is that the government is working quickly to roll out this update. For many of you, the increase could start showing up in your monthly payments very soon. The exact timing will depend on a few factors, including how you receive your current benefits. For those of you who get your benefits via direct deposit, the increase will likely be reflected in your payments within the next few months. If you receive paper checks, there could be a slight delay, but rest assured, the increase is coming. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true. It's natural to be skeptical, especially after years of waiting for real relief. But this increase is already in the works. And it's not just talk. It's happening. In fact, many of you may have already received notices from the Social Security Administration or the VA about this upcoming increase. If you haven't, don't worry, you'll be notified soon, and the money will be coming your way. Let's take a moment to consider the impact this $2,600 increase can have on your life. Think about your current financial situation. Maybe you've been struggling to cover the rising cost of prescriptions or medical care. Maybe your rent has gone up, and you've been wondering how you're going to manage. Or perhaps you've been putting off necessary home repairs because you just didn't have the extra funds. Whatever your situation, this increase is designed to give you some breathing room. For many of you, this $2,600 could help you finally catch up on bills, cover medical expenses, or simply give you a cushion for emergencies. It's not just about getting by, it's about making sure that you have enough to live with dignity and peace of mind. And the best part is, this increase is permanent. That's right. This is not a one-time payment or a temporary fix. It's a permanent boost to your benefits, so you can count on this additional $2,600 every year going forward. This brings us to another important point. The way Social Security and disability benefits are calculated has long been a point of contention. For years, many have argued that the current system doesn't accurately reflect the real costs that seniors and disabled individuals face. The formula used to determine cost of living adjustments (COLA) has often been criticized for not keeping up with inflation, especially when it comes to essentials like healthcare and housing. That's why this increase is such a big deal. It's a recognition that the current system has been failing many of you, and it's a step toward correcting that. Of course, this $2,600 increase isn't going to solve every problem. There are still many challenges ahead, and advocates will continue to push for more improvements to the system. But this is a significant step in the right direction. And it shows that the government is finally starting to listen to the concerns of seniors, disabled Americans, and veterans. It's a win, and it's something to be celebrated. But while this increase is great news, it's also important to be smart about how you use it. $2,600 is a lot of money, and for many of you, it can provide the financial relief you've been needing for a long time. But it's also important to think carefully about how to make the most of this increase. Whether you're using it to pay off debt, cover medical expenses, or save for future needs, planning ahead can help you maximize the benefits of this extra income. One of the best things you can do is take a close look at your current financial situation. Where are you spending the most money? Are there any areas where you can cut back or save? By taking a strategic approach to how you use this $2,600, you can ensure that it goes as far as possible. For example, if you have medical expenses that have been piling up, this might be a great opportunity to pay them off and relieve that burden. Or if you've been falling behind on bills, you can use this money to get caught up and avoid late fees or penalties. Another thing to consider is setting aside a portion of this increase for emergencies. While $2,600 is a significant amount, it can go quickly if you're not careful. By putting some of it into an emergency fund, you'll have a financial cushion in case unexpected expenses come up down the road. Whether it's a car repair, a medical emergency, or something else, having that extra money set aside can provide peace of mind and help you avoid going into debt. For those of you who are veterans, this increase is especially important. Veterans often face unique challenges when it comes to healthcare and other expenses, and this $2,600 boost can provide much-needed relief. Whether you're dealing with medical bills, housing costs, or other financial burdens, this increase is designed to help ease some of that pressure. And for disabled veterans, who may have even more expenses related to their care, this increase is a recognition of the sacrifices you've made and the challenges you continue to face. As we look forward to this increase, it's also worth taking a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. This $2,600 boost is part of a broader effort to improve the lives of seniors, disabled Americans, and veterans, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. There are still many conversations happening in Washington about how to improve Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits to ensure that they keep pace with the rising cost of living. One area that continues to be a focus is the cost of living adjustment COLA formula. As we mentioned earlier, the current formula doesn't always reflect the true costs that seniors and disabled individuals face, particularly when it comes to healthcare and housing. There are ongoing efforts to change this formula to better account for these costs, and while it may take time, the hope is that future adjustments will be more in line with the real-world expenses you're facing. In addition to COLA adjustments, there are also discussions about expanding benefits even further. Some lawmakers are pushing for additional increases to Social Security and disability benefits, particularly for those who are most in need. This $2,600 increase is a great start, but many believe that more needs to be done to ensure that seniors and disabled Americans can live with dignity and financial security. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to recap. If you're receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, you're eligible for a $2,600 increase in your annual benefits. This increase is permanent, and it will be reflected in your monthly payments moving forward. The government is working quickly to roll out this update, and many of you will see the increase in your payments within the next few months. Whether you receive your benefits via direct deposit or paper checks, the increase is coming, and it's going to make a significant difference in your financial situation. It's a direct response to the mounting pressures that many of you have been facing. The cost of essentials like healthcare, housing, and food has continued to climb, and this increase is an important step toward ensuring that your benefits provide real and meaningful support. Remember, this $2,600 increase is not just a one-time boost. It's a permanent adjustment to your benefits, which means you can count on it to help with your ongoing expenses. It's about providing a more stable and predictable financial foundation for you, so so you don't have to constantly worry about whether your benefits will stretch far enough each month. For those who might be new to this kind of increase or unfamiliar with how it will be implemented, let's break down the process a bit more. The Social Security Administration, SA, and the Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, are both responsible for administering these benefits. They will automatically adjust your monthly payment to reflect the new increase. If you're enrolled in direct deposit, you should see this adjustment in your bank account on your regular payment date. If you receive a paper check, it might take a bit longer for the adjustment to be processed and delivered, but it will arrive. In the meantime, make sure to review any communications from the SSA or VA that you receive.